Hello, this is Scott Carpenter. I'm in the National Park location. I'm in the area which I'm going to label the spring. It's where about a month ago I found some juvenile footprints. And I had an experience the week after that, which would have been about 3 weeks ago. And I wanted to come back, do a follow-up, and kind of explain the situation. Basically, what happened is I came down this trail here, and here's the spring. It's a watering hole. Obviously runs year round. This is late August, and I've found all kinds of footprints from bear, wild boar, deer. Looks like bobcat, raccoon, and then of course I found the Bigfoot juvenile footprints up this trail leading this way and then going back. But what happened was I got here and the batteries on the camera had just about died. So I took my backpack off right here, back up. I was standing right here and I laid my monopod at an angle against this log right here. And took my backpack off, changed my batteries. Now I changed the batteries, started to reach down and grab my monopod. Now remember, my monopod's at an angle and it's laying here, and I'm looking I'm not even looking, I'm looking here when I hear just one very loud, very crisp snap. And when I do, I look right over in there. Now it's hard to see, but there's a large tree, and to the left of that tree was a small Bigfoot. He was probably 5 foot tall, 4.5, 5 foot tall, covered in black hair. I could not see his facial features, but I could see his outline of his head. First I thought, is that a bear? But then when I started looking at it, there were no ears. It was a perfectly round head. The face was darkened out. It was in the shadows. And so I'm sitting there looking at it, and it hits me. That's a Bigfoot. Okay. At this point, I've got the monopod. It's laying here. I have my hands on the monopod, and I'm going to do it. Now, remember, the camera's turned off, and I'm watching. I won't take my eyes off of the Bigfoot because I know what'll happen if I do. I know the minute I take the eyes off the Bigfoot, he's going to take off running. So I don't break contact. Though I can't see his eyes, his head's looking at me, and I'm looking at him. And you can see how thick it is, but I can see him right there. I can see the outline. And I'll zoom in here in a second so you can kind of get an idea of the area. So I'm watching him. I pull the monopod up and flip open the camera. And I continue to watch him, and with my peripheral vision, I slip my hand up and take my thumb and hit the power button on the camera. As soon, and I will repeat that, as soon as my thumb hit that button and the power button came on, the Bigfoot bolted. I never took my eye off of him. He bolted as soon as the camera came on. Now what he did, I want to get a little closer, a little bit easier to see. Right above my fingers where he was sitting, right beside that tree. See how thick that is and how that makes a nice little blind area? He was sitting on his butt. Alright. He jumped and he jumped. He didn't turn around and go straight up the hill. He jumped to the right on all fours like a frog would leap. And he went from this side of the tree to that side of the tree. Then he turned and he went straight up that mountain. And he was on all fours. It was like, as you can see, that's a 45-degree angle. That's a very sharp angle. And it was just like a person. His butt was kind of up in the air, and he was reaching forward with his hands, grabbing the ground. And he went right up that hill. Now, by that time, I got the camera going. But he was already out of sight. And you can see how thick the vegetation is. I could see when he first leaped from left to right, I saw his whole body stretched out. He was black. I could tell around the buttocks area It was lightly haired, because I'm just going to be, if you got kids, you don't want to hear this, you might want to tell them, you know, to go somewhere else, because I'm going to kind of describe what I saw. When he turned and went up the hill and his butt was up in the air, his butt was lightly or sparsely haired. I could see his entire buttocks. His skin was gray underneath. I could see his butt crack, and I could see his testicles hanging down. Or something hanging down, let's put it that way. And kind of like I wouldn't say like a monkey. Well, I guess you could say his hair was, his butt was kind of void of hair. Not, he had hair on it, but I could really see his butt crack pretty good. And so I never did see his face. I saw a profile. I saw his legs, his thighs, and his butt really good. And he went right up the top of that hill. Now, when he got up there, he didn't take off running. He got up the top of that hill. He started making some sort of call or cry that I've never heard before. And I've been working on it. And if I can get it to where you can hear it good, it'll be on this video. But he got up to the top of the hill, and he stayed up there for a good 3 or 4 minutes. There really wasn't anything I can do. As you can tell how thick it is, there was no way I could get up in there. And like I said, he was a juvenile. Right there's where he was sitting. And he leapt out of that area there, over to there, and then he went right up through there. And the whole thing maybe lasted 15 seconds, maybe. By the time the camera had cycled, he was already out of sight. But I just find it extremely interesting that the moment that my hand hits that button to hit the power, it's almost like he knew that the camera was on and he was out of there, even though I was watching him. Because usually what will happen is you'll be looking at the Bigfoot, and as soon as you take your eyes off of him, boom, he's gone. And that's with any wild animal that you've spotted and they've spotted you. If you divert your eyes, they're going to bolt. But I knew better on this guy and did everything out of my peripheral vision. I wasn't about to take my eyes off the guy. And even though he was busted, he made the leap, even though I was watching him. And this is probably my best visual of a Bigfoot, barring the visual I had when I was a child, and the two that looked in the window at me, screen door at me when I was 11 or 12. I've made eye contact with one, but I guess this was probably on par with the one in the public land area that got my attention, rose his head above the weeds. We made eye contact. I started to speak, started to say something, and he bolted. He leapt across the trail into the woods. This is probably on par with that one. I don't know if I'd had the camera on whether you'd really been able to see anything other than something black jump across and take off. I might have been able to get maybe a little bit of the butt, because to me that was the thing that kind of stuck out in my head, was the fact that I could see his butt. It wasn't a bear's butt. It looked like a person's butt. And that right there where he was sitting is approximately 50 yards. It's not, well, probably not even 50 yards. I apologize. That's probably 25 yards, which will be 75 feet. It's pretty close. The camera makes it look farther away, but that's pretty close. And as you can see, I don't know if you can tell how steep an incline that is. But right down here is where I found the footprints. So I just wanted to go over that, relate. I didn't say anything the last couple of weeks about it because I wanted to come back. I wanted to see what kind of footage I'd gotten to start with, because I didn't know. I didn't think I'd got anything on the camera. I want to make sure I didn't, other than the vocalizations, which, like I said, I'll try to extract that from the video and enhance it, make it a little louder so you can hear it. But I was hoping I even got him running up the hill, but by the time the camera cycled and came on, he was already up there. So, they know. I guess that's the disappointing thing, they know. So So anyway, hope that kind of explains what's going on. I'm going to make this a regular research visit stop right now. I'm thinking about putting cameras, at least one or two. I know they usually don't do any good, but maybe I'll get a reaction. Maybe put a camera back up in there, because it looks like they come down off the hill and then come get their water here. Sometimes they come down the trail and get the water. But I have to be careful. This is a trail that gets horse traffic and hiker traffic, and there's bears in here, so I want to be careful with my placement of my camera and not get it taken. But may put it back up in there. But this is the area, and so just kind of give you an idea. Here's, like I said, there's the sighting area, and here's the year-round spring. It's a real beautiful little location. Water comes down out of this here, and it's as far as I can tell, runs 24/7, 365. And so it's the only continuous water source on this side of the mountain. You've got to go a couple, 3 miles down to the bottom of the mountain, or back over the other side. I'm a good 3.5 miles off the main road right here. This is pretty far in to the closest road. So this is one of the more remote wilderness trails. Though, like I said, it does get traffic. Just not like some, it's a more advanced trail. More serious hikers use this trail. Well, I'm going to sign off, and hopefully I'll have some more interesting video later. Thank you. Okay, I've got one camera, and I've put it in here, and the camera's right there, and it's watching, coming down off the hill, coming down here to get a drink. We'll see what kind of wildlife, and maybe I'll get lucky and get a Bigfoot. I don't know, but we'll see. But beats gathering dust on the back porch. And it's a crapshoot, but you never know. The spring is right down there, and this is the main trail coming into it. I'm going to leave this guy in here for a while, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully it'll yield some benefits. Give you an idea of there. And the Bigfoot that was hiding was watching me from that tree right there, sitting right in that garbage right there. So we'll see how this goes. Maybe it'll yield some results. These trail cameras are always marginal in my opinion, but you never know.